Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxchair, on the show this evening as well. Robert, evening, Robert.
Evening, Ox. Hope you're well, mate.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. And we're James. Evening, James.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Robert.
And the one and only Bridge man. Evening, Bridge.
Oh, good evening, Ox Chair. And can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, a big good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yes. How's Robert?
I am alright, mate. I'm alright. Starting to settle down after Sunday.
Jim?
Yeah, same as Robert, but still peed off that we couldn't beat a mediocre Celtic team. But again, we had the chances. Don't take your chances, don't win games. Simple.
I don't think we had a lot of chances, mate. What I think we had a lot of opportunities to make real chances and we never took them, mate. That makes sense.
Aye, 100%. I thought we're final ball for wide positions and also midfielders breaking forward. I thought our decision making again was ridiculous.
Agree, mate. I agree. We debated it long and hard last night, and I think there was a general consensus opinion. But we're going to move on, Bridge, and we lost a game in penalty kicks, mate. Doesn't happen that often, but it's always so, and especially a certain team. So you have to take your medicine and move on, as young Robert says. Yeah.
Yeah, like as far as the playing side of it's concerned, I thought it was a really tough game. We could see that our defenders, their defenders, getting stuck right in. Midfielders were doing other stuff. And I thought we played really, really well. I thought by the end of the 90 minutes, we were a better team, in all honesty. And I thought we did really well in the extra time. But for goodness sake, how many chances are we going to get and can they put the ball away? We had some great chances in front of goal. Didn't do it. And these are the things. And, the one I'm always moaning about is you're up there and you've got the ball at your feet and you're just approaching the penalty area and you dither and you can't find a man or you can't see a man or all that nonsense and you get the ball away and before you know it the ball's up and you're and they're challenging the keeper. Just rubbish. We need to get rid of all that out of the game. That's got to stop somehow.
Yeah, listen, mate, you're going to get the ball away. The other teams are going to get chances. You're going to score goals, you're going to lose goals. But when you're that far in front, Robert, and I'm sure you discussed it a lot in the heat of the battle on Sunday, you've got to make the right decision and score goals, mate. Now, I thought we were the better team, but we didn't make their goal work particularly hard.
No, we didn't, mate. And I think that's the frustration. As you say, you can have all the ball, all the territory. It's what you do with it that counts. And we didn't do enough to. We might have got in great positions, but as you said already, mate, we didn't capitalise and take the chances or create chances that were really clear cut. You look back at the game and you could pick out the chances that you had in the game, but how many of them were real clear cut guilty as chances? I don't remember that keeper having to make too many saves. There was a few that he did come and punch away or claim high balls, but there was nothing that was a real telling save. Same can be said for Butland. He had no saves to make as well, mate. So it was a strange game, but a lack of quality within the game as itself.
Aye, if I'm honest, the only saves that Butland made was when he put himself under pressure, if that makes sense, Jim. Yeah. I don't know what you think sometimes, yeah.
And he can hurt that wee patch again, didn't he? About he just didn't know what he was doing. Nearly get caught dithering on the ball with Maeda again. But I think the only thing he looked alert was the one that Stuart could have passed back, man. I was like, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned John Suter. We didn't really touch on it too much last night, Bridgeman, but as an old centre-half, and I know you're a member of the union, but you think he's shot in confidence, mate? He looks something that's he's on a bad run of form, or am I reading too much into it, mate?
You can't read too much into some of the things that our teams do. My goodness gracious. But like I thought, I'll say it again, I thought we played very, very well for 90 minutes and right through the extra time. Well, obviously, we're short on midfielders, good footballers. We're short of them because the ones we brought on didn't add too much to it, but they didn't drop too much either. But we don't have the killers. We don't have the guys that can kind of put the killer pass in or have a great shot from the midfield position. They're just only there. I thought, but, you know, both centre forwards had small chances, and one had an absolutely fabulous chance and missed it. In fact, missed the ball probably. These are the things that are happening to us. There's certain players in our team I don't want to say too much about, but particularly from a defensive perspective, I cannot understand why they took Giga off. I thought he was having a tremendous game, but maybe he was running out of steam. I might have been running out of steam, but I just, you could see the difference. The difference was noticeable when he went off the park. It was noticeable.
I'll ask you again. It doesn't really what I ask the questions you answer, but if you don't answer the questions, I might as well go and have a holiday, right? John Souttar, I asked you, right? Is he short of confidence?
Well, I don't know if he's short of confidence, but I don't think he's a player for Rangers. Right. I don't think.
You never have done, have you?
No.
Jim?
I would say, I would maybe say at the moment, yes.
Am I being polite, Jim? Am I being polite?
I think you maybe probably are. Yeah, you're being polite. But it's what we do as Rangers fans, we are polite. But see, again, it's just noticeable that that partnership gets played again and again. I know Celtic never offered much up that, blah, blah, blah. But I thought we looked assured with Giga and Big Fernandez at the back. And we did. For about maybe 4 games in a row, am I right? We collect clean sheets when Shooter wasn't anywhere to be seen. Again, I'm not for lambasting him, but I don't think he's the best out of the 3 centre-halves we've got. And that's saying something when we all had a go at Giga earlier on in the season.
Aye, but the boys came in and he played all right for the new year since he came back with AFCON. I thought he was my best player against Motherwell, and some people had him the best player on Sunday. I actually had Fernandez in front of him, but just not very much. And I've got a wee spot, as you know, for Romans. I still think he done right without being outstanding. But I actually gave Fernandez the nod just in front of the Giga. But getting back to the point, Robert, John Souttar, has he gone in the head, mate?
I think so, Ox. You asked the question, is it lacking confidence? For me, yes. I think it was the right decision by Danny Rule to bring him out of the starting 11, take him out the firing line, so to speak. We touched on it on Friday night, and a lot of us kind of had the same opinion that Giga would come in. He has been playing well since he came back from AFCON, as you said. Probably felt harshly done to be dropped out of the team. The only reason I could really think that Souttar came back into it was because he's our player, he's signed the contract. But when a player is lacking confidence, particularly a centre-back, when there's no room for error, as Bridgman will know, then the best thing to do is bring them out the team. And I thought it was the right decision. I understand Giga might have ran his race, but at the time, mate, I was quite baffled by the substitution because I again thought Giga and Fernandez dealt with everything they had to do comfortably well. They were good in possession, and any time that Celtic had the ball in the box, then they defended it pretty well. But for me, Souttar, although I agree there's logic in the game of my contract talks, I've said it before, I don't think he's the guy you build your defence around next season. For me, he becomes a squad player where you can bring him into games and rotate when others are suspended and injured.
I think we're on agreement. If we're honest, Jim. You know, listen, I'm not blaming John Souttar because we didn't get through on Sunday. I'm just saying it looked like somebody had gone to me, yeah?
Aye, is it? I know you're saying that it maybe in the heat. Is it maybe his legs that's gone to now? Ox.
A wee bit young for that. Mate. But he's obviously changed his body shape, mate. you know. And
No,
you know
we-
what
we
that's
also-
like. You've done that Charles Atlas thing, haven't you?
Aye.
You know? I just feel as if he's
Sorry, that's funny.
thrown off the park, but his confidence is gone. What's up with you?
Oh, that's really, I think that's really funny.
Charles
Sorry,
Atlas
guys.
have a white
I'm
flag.
awful sorry. I'm awful sorry.
Well, the white flag was a cracker, mate. The white flag was a cracker. They'll have that on your order
Thank
of
you, Robert.
service. You'll have that on your order of service when you pass away, bro.
It'll need to be an orange one and a crimson one and all, but
Just the white one, mate. Yeah. What do you think, Robert?
No comment. What's the picture? I've not seen it.
aye, Pinocchio.
I heard
Aye,
Dads are looking for a new sponsor, Jim.
It's a lovely white t-shirt and all, man.
Oh my God.
It was a new one. It looked like a new t-shirt to me, Robert. What about the shoes, mate? They were Daz white and all around the blue base, weren't they?
Oh, they were, mate. He's got a full attire on there, Jim. White everything.
Right, let's go on with the show.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's one of my most experienced pros. He's running about 30. Arguably the peak of powers in that position, you know. The two boys are young, raw, improved, and I think they've just went by him, mate. And he's lost a bit of confidence. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but I thought he was poor for weeks before it, and I've said it on the show. And I think Sunday's performance when he came on summed it up. I think he was making the mistakes that we saw on Sunday. In a lot of games, at different parts of the games, different mistakes. Because it's mistake after mistake after mistake. I think he caused the goal, the two goals at Livingston, because he gave away cheap set pieces when there was no need to. I think he was to blame for Murrable, where the shambles in defending, because he's the guy that's meant to organise. And if I think back, it might have been for his clearance that we never cleared the ball brilliantly. I might be wrong when I say this. And then the ball came into the box. I've not checked that out, but he's meant to be organised and pushing us out, getting us in. And the goal against Hearts, when he's all over the place and gets caught on the wrong side, it's just been goal after goal after goal. And that's what I'm liking. One of the things I'm liking about the manager, Robert. He's took them out. You're not doing it. You're out. Tar, Suter, out. Yeah. If you're not doing it, he's going to have time to get many of his own players in. But he's getting a lot right and small bits wrong. And when he starts he gets the small bits right, he'll be a better team and win more games. Right or wrong, Robert?
Ah, you're right, mate. That's how it works. The more you do right as a manager, and the more you do right as a club and as a team, then things start clicking and you start performing well. You get results. You know, we've gained a lot of points since Daniel came in. Not everything's been correct. We've managed to grind out results. We've had to come behind a few times, but these wee things that to get the results are getting us right. When things do go wrong, he's obviously, as a manager and a head coach, you're always in for the criticism. The fingers get pointed because that's the way football is. That's the environment we're in. But again, as I said, it's the right decision to bring a player out. No matter how experienced or how long you've been at the club you are, then you get pulled at the firing line to protect the club, protect the team, but protect the player themselves, because there's no point having a player on the park whose head's not in the right space. They make errors, the confidence drops, they make silly decisions, could cost them a red card, it costs the team. So it does make sense, mate, to bring a guy out. And I know we always say we need experience. It's fine having the experience, but you've got to be in the right headspace and mentality to go and play as well, especially a big game like that. So I've got absolutely no issues with Daniel choosing Giga over Suter at the weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised, Ox, come the weekend if Giga's retaining his place, if I'm honest.
I don't think the manager's got any other choice. Jim?
Yeah, I don't think he's getting any choice either. I think he's where he is going to have choices. I think the choices is going to be in the middle of that park. I felt with 280 started at the weekend there. It just didn't work again between the two of them. And we looked a wee bit better when the big man came on. Right, Chucky?
Big Chucky. Listen, I thought, funny enough, that Diamandi showed a lot of skill in the first half. He got himself in positions, done really well. But ultimately, you see the flaws in his game. He gets booked, Bridgeman. I know it's up for debate, but he's given the referee a real decision to make in an area of the park where there's no real danger. So he's booked really early on. Yeah, all right. Some people might think it's harsh and you should get a warning that time. I get all that, and I'm sure the ref will chip in here. The old ref watch of Daz as we know him on here, right? But he showed that he gets himself out of tremendous situations, takes the ball in, moves it about, comes away with the ball, can't pass it. Yeah, I don't think he was atrocious on Sunday. I can't remember him making a chance. I can't remember Tucci getting forward and making a chance. And I think he done all right. He looks as if he's potential for the number 6 role going forward. I think hopefully he'll get better. Raskin does some great things, breaks the play up well. Can he move the ball quick? Has never been a good passer of the ball. And then in lies my problem. Bridgeman, then Robert, and then back to Daz. Oh, sorry, Jim.
I have to say to you, seriously, he's starting to become a bit of a liberty, because he's getting booked to the first 2 minutes or whatever it is in such an early time in the game, and it has a negative effect on his game, that's for sure, because any leeway is going to be anybody's been given, and you saw the amount of leeway that referee gave their team for sure, loads of leeways.
One in particular, I think 5 fouls.
Go for it.
One in particular, I think it was 5 fouls, but I'm sure Ref Watch will mention it. You carry on, mate.
Aye, right, it's really well. No, I think we've seen it. I'm afraid that he's got to watch what he's doing. He's walking a tightrope. As soon as you get booked, you're walking a tightrope. And he's a niggle, you know. He has a wee bit battle with opposition midfielders or whatever, and they're a bit of mouthing to each other and so on and so forth. And he takes it and gets caught. It's as simple as that. He tries to do a fancy tackle and it doesn't come off, and it looks absolutely dreadful. And of course, the opposition will make good use of that, and they'll be rolling about and crying and shouting and bawling and swearing, and they'll all be there. And the referee will just give giving them a red card, and that's what I feel, because you can see visually starts to drop out of the game. The more, I think there was one incident after that, maybe 20 minutes in, and he does a tackle just outside the area, and I thought, my God, what are you doing? Taking a chance, doing that, never mind anything else. He won the ball, may I say, but I thought he took a terrible chance. However, I think I'm starting to lose my patience with that guy, Diamandi. I think he's got to change, or the manager's got to change him.
No, it's been ways, but I think this is end these 2.5 seasons, I think, and I would argue where he's improved or not. Robert?
I don't think he's improved, Docs, if I'm being honest. I think he's just kind of kept a level playing field. Sometimes he's had games and spells where he's dipped. Previously, before, his discipline had been right down below par. We know that because he was picking up silly bookings and getting red cards, and that's something that since the Old Firm game in January, he improved on. He started to play football again. He started to be a player that showed what he could do in certain games. But I think you look at Sunday, obviously getting booked early on, it doesn't help, but he's given the referee a decision, like you say, to draw the yellow card early doors. However, you know what Diamandi offers you. You know what Raskin offers you. I've said it before. The midfield, the personnel we've got at the minute, they're all one dimension. They're all lacking good distribution of the ball. They may run hard and work hard, but it's the end product. They can't find these kind of key passes through lines of defences. If that was the case, mate, they would be high up in the assist charts, but they aren't because they don't have it in their locker. Raskin, you know, again, a player, you know what you're going to get, but if Raskin wants to play, he can play well and become one of our better players. But if he's not really bothered and he's more interested in having arguments and niggles at a referee or whatever, then that's the Raskin you're going to get. You're not going to get the footballer Raskin that we've had in the past, and we know we can get to that level. But that's the issue, mate. The midfield is just all one dimension at the minute, and that's why I was surprised we didn't bring in a different option in the middle of the park in January.
Not that easy, mate. It ain't that easy, mate.
No, I know that it's
You
a
know,
January window. It's hard. We've done well to get the players we got in, but for me, that was an area that we needed strengthened as well. Whether we try to get somebody or not, you'll never know, mate. But
Four was good gone. 3 of them look all right. One of them, I'm sure will come to. Ain't that easy, mate. Everybody's trying to get the same pieces of jigsaw. Breathwatch, the booking, and your thoughts on what we've said.
100% right about the midfield. We're just lacking that colour pass. I think Raskin's playing far too deep for us just now. Regarding the referee, possibly he's trying to put his stamp on the game early doors. I know it was a minute and all the rest of it, blah blah blah. But you're always Robertson's got to sing maybe the media Monday. I think he said a few ding dongs with him. But right, he's you
there, Jim? We lost Jim, Robert.
I think we have, mate. I think he's just
Right,
disconnected there.
Either that is full of expletives, yeah.
Could be the latter, mate. Could be the latter.
I agree with you. I think, listen, I'm not saying Diamante's a bad player. I don't think he's improved and he's got flaws. He's definitely got ability, you know, but you've got to influence the game in that final third, and that's the problem with our midfield. You know, Raskin, Diamante, Barron, yeah. Tucci's come in. We'll give him a pass at the moment, you know, and then the one that we thought was going to be the difference maker, Asgard. Couple of absolute moments of brilliance. Then what? Bridgman.
You know when you say that, brilliant moments of brilliance, and then what? Nothing. And that's one of the things that our fans are bamboozled with, the things that happen. The boys were talking about what's his name, the wee Belgian guy in the midfield. Names keeps escaping me. Oh dear, it's gone.
Nico Raskin.
That's a Raskin, for God's sake. I call him Can Ras. I think he's a smashing player, but for some reason or other, he started to get into the shadows. And one of the ways to get into the shadows is to go back, get some space. Maybe he's wise, maybe he's doing that, and he's right and we're wrong. I don't know, but certainly his final pass is way below par. I mean, way below par. It's some horrendous passes at the weekend again. But then that's the pressure of the game. It can do that, and it makes it look worse when you've got nobody near you to tackle you, and you try it. And our team's full of people that try that. I don't know. I don't see him as a guy. I think he hides, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's doing that deliberately just to get a bit of space to pick the ball up and run with it. Because there's no doubt about it, he's a tremendous runner with the ball, and he gets good headers in, and all the rest of it. He's got some smashing pluses on his name. It's just sometimes it disappoints, and mostly 30 yards out he tries a pass and it doesn't work, or maybe 2 passes and it doesn't work. That nonsense, you know. So I think we need to do something. We need to get better midfielders in. Get back down to Partick and see if we can get some. Take them out of the.
Well, if you look at the dubbing, mate, I'll look at the boots, yeah.
Agreed, pal.
You know, aye. Listen, I think we all know where the fox is. Jim, you back with us?
Aye, sorry there.
That's
Can
all right, mate.
I have a wee say there?
Aye.
I think that's a major issue for the middle three and the top three. The decision making and the passing is ridiculous at times. I mean, at the weekend again and all, I don't know how many times. I know where you're going to go. We're going to start pointing the finger at Big Olsen shortly. He's another one that needs to start pulling his finger out his prostate out somewhere else, because he's done nothing for Rangers needs to come in there for a big price.
But we've been paying him a big wage and a potential big price, and it's a yes or a no answer. We've asked it every week for the last 3 weeks. Would you sign him, Robert?
Currently, no.
Jim?
Currently, no. I'm in the same boat as Robert.
Bridgman?
I'm the same as the other boys.
And that's four no's and no golden buzzer for me, Robert.
Listen, Ox, when we were linked with Scoville, I was one on here that hyped him up and said that we were going to get a great player.
I've got that to play back.
Of course, mate. Of course. And listen, we're disappointed because of, again, he's came with an expectation. We understand he's not played football for a lot of time, but he's had a lot of time on the park with us that he should be contributing a lot more than he has. You look at the way Mikey Moore picks up the ball in space and glides with the ball. That's what Olsen should be doing. They're playing the same position, just different sides of the park. But Moore's getting a lot more involved. But what I will say is we do play a lot of football down our left-hand side. I've noticed that quite regularly this season. Our left side's a predominant side to go down. But you're still expecting a lot more from a guy who's got that reputation and experience. Because I think that was the big kind of marquee signing in January. Somebody that in this fixture on Sunday and last Sunday was going to be a difference maker. Although he got an assist last week, this Sunday you could take him off at any point, Ox.
Albert thinks it's always a good cross because it was such a good goal. He had to go away for himself to get it. He's put it behind him, and he might be right. But people say he's got ability. I've not seen it because we've not seen enough of him. Yeah, consistently. A goal against Queen's Park doesn't count for me. He done a shimmy and a couple of crosses, one against Hearts, one against that mob last week, and big Chimitis turned them into 2 wonderful goals. So he'll get the assists for that, and that'll be the stats. But you've got to have the cojones to play for us, Jim, and I don't know if it was.
I think it is. It's again, we've said it over many years. In my time as being a Rangers supporter, there's always been people that Scottish football is not for everybody. You're not going to get the time he's maybe getting playing in Italy and all the rest of it. But there's a reason why he's not at these teams. There's a reason why he's still not playing with the other teams. And we maybe find it it's the same.
I get it, mate. I get it. You know, and he'll be on big salary, mate, and we'll be paying a big chunk of that. And so it's an off for me, and I think we'll agree. Right, I think we better get the phone lines open, yes?
Go for it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, go for it.
Just on the Diamante one before we open the phone lines, Jim, in your opinion, it's a foul. Is it a yellow card or are you yellow carding somebody in the same situation? I know you're a very, very fair man.
Again, that early in the game, I think he let other ones go, which he could have booked for the same kind of thing. That was my only complaint with the referee regarding that. It probably was a yellow, but I think he let a few others go away with multiple ones.
Yeah, Sunday. I think it was 5 fouls Sunday in the game, and they were getting booked. But there you go.
I thought it was 7.
No, it wasn't. You might be right, mate. My pencil might have run out of lead.
It makes you wonder who they're looking at, because they're not looking at the same game as us, and they're no refereeing the game the same as we're trying to referee it. That's for sure.
Aye. All right. Look, I think we all know where the flaws are. I think we all agree, everybody the last couple of nights is pretty much banging for the same drum. And that's pretty unusual, Robert, just before we get the lines open.
It is, mate. It is, because we've all got a different opinion on things, but the way it's been recently, we're all, as you say, singing in the same hymn sheet, the same problems we're seeing with our own eyes. And we just want to know how we move forward, how do we fix it, and how do we get out this kind of rut that we're on.
Well, the problem is, if you think the midfield's the problem, mate, you ain't get the personnel to change it. We've stuck with that jigsaw, that's the pieces we've got for now to the transfer window. You've just got to deal with it.
Yep, and that's what manager's paid to do.
Aye, he's just got to deal with it, and then there'll be ins and outs in the summer, you know. Right, let's hear from these.
While you are sitting listening on your own, why not take part and give us a phone? We would love to hear your points of view, so get off your bum and call 0141 356 1972.
Aye, come join us, folks. Give us your thoughts. Any questions for myself, Ox, Jim, or Bridgeman? Come let us know your thoughts on Suter, Raskin, Diamonde, anything else at all that we've spoke about so far in the show.
Yep, well said, mate. And just, well, I think we'll go to Jim and Bridgeman, because obviously I said my bit last night, you said your bit the night before, mate, and see what they think of what happened on Sunday, what happened in the game, where if they agree, what went wrong, were they happy with the centre forwards, were they happy with the substitutions? Jim?
The substitutions, I'll start with the substitutions. I felt the two substitutions, the only one I had a wee debate about was the one with Big Jiger, but can possibly understand where the manager was going, because I think he's kind of he's been cagey with that one a few times with IE minutes, another one. But I felt young Moore had ran his race. I wasn't disappointed with it. Again, regarding Wigazama, I thought he get brought on, played on the wrong side again. So he did, and I don't think it helps him playing on that far side of that park, on that other side. That's my take on the substitutions. And I would never had him taking a penalty kick, because I don't think he kicked a ball when he came on.
I kind of, a couple of moments out on the left, you know, when he come on, I'm saying, right, okay, you've got legs. Get at that skills. Does they look interesting? Bridgeman, you like him as well, Bridgeman?
I do. Gazman, I think he's a smashing wee player, but I'm afraid to say there's some things you agree with other folk. 100% agree he's getting played on the wrong side. He should be played on the left. 100%. And he's so strong, and I'm talking inside himself, playing on the left. Playing on the right, he can only turn it on so often, because there's just his balance. His balance is set up to play on the left and do things. I don't know whether he's gifted enough to be able to change. There's a lot of folk can play in multiple positions, and certain players can really only play in the one. And I think Gassman's that. He might move him back into midfield just for saying so, find himself in midfield, and all of a sudden he plays really well, has a great run. But you'll notice wherever he runs, he starts to run towards the left, you know. And that's because that's what he's naturally going for. But really, you know, a disappointment. When he put the ball, hit the bar or whatever it was, and I'm telling you now, I was just hugely disappointed. I was raging at Tavernier.
At the top of the store,
I was saying I hit the top of the bar, yeah. No, like it's there, but the goalkeeper's no there. You know, he's putting the ball down the middle, and it's exactly the same as Tav. Put the ball down the middle, but put it too high. Well, okay, it's bad luck to a certain extent. I find it unforgivable when good players don't score for a penalty spot. They've done the goalkeeper, it all ends up, and the ball isn't in the net.
It's simple, mate. It's simple, mate. If you don't hit the target,
correct. Correct, pal. Correct.
Robert, your view of the Gas?
Kind of surprised it came on Ox as well, if I'm being honest, because even the previous week he never done anything in his time he was on the park. Again, I understand the rationale, as you said. Scales is on a booking, try and get at him. I would have, if I was bringing him on, I'd have done what Jim says, swapped him over to the left and had Mikey Moore, who are using on the right to get at him, because he was seeing a lot more of the ball than Scove Olsen did in the right before he went off. So there's ways that I think you can look at it. For me, the only substitute that I was kind of surprised we didn't make was Miovski for either Chimiti or Nadiri, because I thought they were both looking tired as the game went on. Not to mention also thinking about penalties as well. Miovski, you would have probably in your top 5 as a penalty taker who's on the park at the time. Gassama for me was never in my top 5 either. I was sitting thinking about it before going to penalties. Who's the 5 going to be? And you probably got to maybe 3 or 4. And then you're maybe thinking, right, who's the 5th? I don't think many people would have had Gassama within their top 5. He's a player that Ox that I think frustrates a lot of fans. Early part of the season, he was showing what he can do. That all came from the left. He's been out on the right. His attitude at times has been very, very questionable. I just don't know if it's a mentality thing, an attitude thing, or if he's just short of confidence as well. I know that's the shooter's lack of confidence. Is Gassama lacking the confidence? Does he feel under pressure and it's starting to weigh down on him? These are all questions that you can only try and assume and guess, but I've said it before, I think he's an impact player, but there's certain games where he will be an impact. We've seen it against Hearts. I don't think the past 2 games were a game for him to make an impact on it.
Yeah, Danny Rowe got a call going forward, interesting. So come and join us, give your thoughts. Obviously, there's a lot of news and stories running about the club. Everybody will have their own thoughts on it. Well, we know where it started. We know where it was coming from. It's not the first time that certain teams have run on the park against us, but to put it away in 2016. I'm not saying that 2 wrongs make a right, but when you back people in a corner, they're going to lash out, and their support have been pushed and ridiculed, and there's moments, and if the first thing never happens, none of it happens. None of it happens. So be aware of that, and I think my own personal view is somebody that's always championed the atmosphere of that game. They're in a different camp from maybe say Bridgeman. Albert, for instance, they've had their own views on it. I never thought it was the same game without away fans. Maybe Bridgeman and Albert have been proved to be correct. Bridgeman?
Yeah, well, I think the records show it's nowadays in the modern era, it's an absolutely horrendous game to be involved in. I dare say, from a player's perspective, it's okay. And it's not that bad, and they get on with it, and you can get 1 game, draw games, or even lose games. But I dare say it's not quite as bad there. But the bitterness between the clubs is there for all the world to see. And a lot of fans that don't go to the game love that. They see that because it's just the same as when they were young. But it's serious damage stuff. The rumours we're hearing what happened at Ibrox is just quite unbelievable.
No rumours, Bridge.
No, what I'm saying is that the rumours you're hearing that happened at Ibrox, and then you find out it's absolutely true. I've not heard about every single one of them, but I've heard quite a lot, and it is absolutely unbelievable. And if it's as bad, or even half as bad as I've heard, then there's absolutely no way any away fan should ever be allowed into our Broomlawn Road stand or any stand in Ibrox. No way, never again. They used to do it every other week they were in. They smashed the place up a wee bit or did something bad. But this time they came and invaded. And as far as what I heard, and I don't know if this is true, I heard they managed to storm the outside doors when the stewards weren't there or something like that.
There's pictures making social media.
So they got in anyway, and they caused lots of damage.
Orchestrated, Bridge. Orchestrated. Right, Robert, just... I don't want to leave a lot of battles, but the Bridge, Albert, etc. have been proved correct, and I hate to see it. Maybe my thought on the fixture has been tarred forever now, and I did say that it wasn't the same game without away fans. I'll accept when I'm wrong.
Well,
Sorry. On you go. Sorry, Rob.
You're called Jim. I know it's a hard name, but Jim. Just Robert, carry on.
No, I did apologise, big man. I'm sorry.
I'm in the same camp as you, mate. I was kind of one for saying that the atmosphere when it was reduced numbers or no away fans, then it took that atmosphere away from the fixture. Obviously, more Rangers fans in at Ibrox, they still get the same level of noise, but everything around the fixture, you felt there was something missing from it. The scenes we don't want to see in any football stadium, any park, with any support. I think, given what's happened, then nobody will be surprised with whatever punishment comes and whatever kind of reaction is that no away fans at games again. That's the way I think it'll go. Back to a full house at the home stadiums for their own support. I don't see away fans being in. And it might be a good few number of years and seasons where we get back to a point where they can be permitted back again. Only recently, of course, we've went back up to the 2,500 allocation or whatever it was. So look how long that took to sort out and the reasons behind it. You can go on and have another show about it. But ultimately, you can't have the positives and the good of the atmosphere be tarnished by those scenes again, mate. That's not football. That's not what we want to see.
And on you go, John.
I've just put a picture in the chat there. Have a wee look at it, guys, and tell me where do you see the passageways in that stand. I mean, I seen reports saying that there was maybe 20, 30 get into that game through that gate was opened. Have a look at that picture. There's a lot more than 30 or 40 people in that picture, in that end. We need to, who shouldn't have been there. Have a look at it, buddy. Have a look at it closely, guys. That's for my seat in the Copeland, the back of the Copeland. That to me, that's dangerous. And see, prior to that game, see when they bust the gates, they probably should have went that way. Every shutter in there, boom, get these shutters down. Get them out of there. The 30 or 40s run in there, get them out of here. By the way, and started filling that stand up properly. An absolute shambles. I was actually gobsmacked. I've been to a lot of games where you've seen a lot of kind of fisticuffs and blah, blah, blah. I've never, in my time at Ibrox, witnessed anything like that in my life. And see when the young team went on, I think I'm like to myself, oh no, don't. See when you seen them belting across that park, man, you're like, man, oh, here we go, man. I was just gobsmacked. But again, they didn't go after that. They weren't coming off that. If that young team hadn't gone off that park, onto that park, that mob were probably coming on worse than they were. And I think the Union Bell's going on because the only thing that cleared that park. Absolutely unbelievable scenes. I've never experienced anything like that in my life at Ibrox. I didn't think I would have ever seen the day that would have happened in that stadium.
No. And I think they've single-handedly killed the fixture, mate. Yeah, killed the fixture. That's my view on it, yeah.
Do you think
I think
that was sorry, there was a question I was going to ask. I was just going to ask the question of the panel, if they don't mind.
Yeah.
Do you think what they did, they talk about them for across the city and breaking into Ibrox like that and getting themselves onto the pitch and so on and taunting us for us to go on the pitch, similar to 1980, was that, do you think that was done on purpose to try to get us banned from the league?
No, not at all, mate.
You don't think so? Okay. So what do you think the reason was?
They're entitled. They've done it up at Ross County. They've done it up Kilmarnock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have to be careful. We know we've had our moments as well, but we have to be. The goaded as we had it in 2016. Again, we were at a bridge. Yeah, we're still paying up the fine.
Yep,
By the way, I've got one
right,
time to make you right, and I can understand the reaction. I'm not condoning it, but I can understand it. But it came from they don't know how to act. The team, the management team, they don't know how to react, and then they've not got a comprehension of what could happen, and they've got a responsibility. And the SFA don't commit to this. They were warned with everybody connected that this is wrong. They're getting into them, and look, they were proved right. And by the way, it's them that should pick up the whole bill because they forced it to happen and caused it, in my opinion. Robert?
Well, I'd be sending the bill straight across the city, mate. It's their fan group that's caused the damage.
Send out two bills.
Well, you could send out a number of bills, mate, to be honest with you. The damage is going to be in the thousands. We've all seen the videos, we've all seen the pictures, the graffiti. everything. It's absolutely disgusting the way they've treated the stadium. I jokingly said it when the ticket allocation came out, but it's a serious question that needs to be asked, mate. They ban their own support from their home games. Why are they allowed in an away game at our stadium? They know the problems they bring themselves to their club. Why were they permitted to be in our stadium for this fixture? Because that itself is a serious question that somebody needs to ask and answer. If you've got a group who you're not in speaking terms with, you've banned them from your home stadium, why should they be allowed an away fixture ticket to an Old Firm game?
Well, what I'm struggling to understand is there's not much talking about boycotts. They were trying to get in desperate. But they're not desperate to see the Rangers jump.
Yeah, they were desperate. But see, Robert, see what you're saying? I found it astonishing how their tickets were front and centre. They were front and centre in that stand. And their other gang was at the top, front and centre. So, again, I've got an opinion on it. But if I air it on here, man, I'll probably get a chap at my door, but I'll keep my views to myself for now. Absolute scandalous. Again, as I said, I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. We won the league at Celtic Park back in 1999. Rangers done a huddle and were slaughtered by everybody in Scottish football. And I'm sure I'll be back in. Am I right in saying, Ox, did we not get hammered for that? Did we not get hammered? But,
Well,
but
I know the team got hammered because they were all waiting at the tunnel to coin them, yeah.
Aye. Their players, they're swinging for the crossbar. That crackpot that plays at right back, he's unhinged. That guy is totally unhinged. He's swinging for a crossbar prior to anything coming on that park, by the way. Then they're jumping about the middle of the park taking selfies. Martin O'Neill's no daft. Martin O'Neill knows when not to cross that line. So Martin O'Neill's trying to be a wee wide all the day on Tracksuit Biden's on the radio the day saying how he's saddened. He wasn't saddened when he was watching that at the weekend, joining, encouraging it.
Yep.
Look, can I just say there was a riot during a Scottish Cup. I think it was a Scottish Cup game at Hampden between the Rangers and Celtic. Celtic won, and many moons ago, and they were parading the cup, and the Rangers fans jumped to and trying to steal the cup and started fighting with the fans and so on and so forth. So not necessarily, it wasn't a full pitch invasion, but there was a lot of fans ran on and caused a problem. Rangers fans, and then that's when they banned the what do you call it, the lap of honour. They actually banned it. I think that ban should still be standing, and I don't think we should be. The fans should be walking around clapping the supporters at all. I don't think that's right. In any club, I think it's wrong. Like when the whistle's done, if you want to get things quietened down and let the fans get away in that, then you get the players off the park as quickly as possible into a space of safety, and let's get away with it. That's the way I see it. And we threw it before many years ago, and in 1980 it blew up again, and so on and so forth. And here we are. I'm not saying it was an absolute riot, but it was bad. It was bad.
Yep. All right. So come and join us. We knew we wanted to discuss the football last night, and that took us nearly 2 hours. You know, because the frustrations about the football are causing us all concerns. I'll put it like that. We're in the last few weeks, we're lack of form, Robert, if we're being honest, has been bits and starts. But for me, and I'll say it again, I say it all the time, we've no won enough halves of football.
No, we've not, mate. We've not, especially the past few weeks. I think it's 3 wins from 9, I think it is, in the last we've took. We've always said it, mate, this is the business end of the season. This is where we need to go on the run that we did back in December, January, when we went on the 8-game unbeaten. That's the time we need to go back to. Something's changed from then till now, though, and I don't think we can put a finger on it, to be honest with you, mate. It's just been a whole shift in where it's been momentum, form, players individually just dipping in form themselves. A lot of factors that you could pinpoint it as, but it is a frustration, mate, because we'd done so well, got back in the positions we're in. There was chances to capitalise on moving up the table, even going top spot at times, and we didn't. And we didn't find the form, we didn't find that quality. It's always been the problem. It's the final third, it's the decision making. And that's where we're all frustrated, because it's just repeating itself again. And we need to find a way out it quick, because we're still in a title race. Others might think it's over. I still think we're still in it, of course, because it's not mathematically impossible. Is it more now we hope we can go and win the league more than a belief we can win the league? That's the question.
Win my next game, I'll see we take it. I disagree with you slightly on that. Yeah? If we keep clean sheets or maybe only lose a goal against Livingston, a goal against them last week, mate, and we keep a clean sheet against Motherwell, where are we?
Ox, you just stole my thunder there, mate. I was going to reply to Robert there. Is the issue being the guy we were talking about? Because we've started losing stupid goals in that period of games where we're talking about absolute critical goals, and they've walking through that one guy.
Where are we? I'm saying we lose one against Livingston, you lose a goal, one last week, and managed to see you at the Motherwell game. Where are we, Robert?
Top of the table.
Aye. Yeah, so, you know, I get it. We've hemmed and hawed. We've not been great in front of goal. You're not going to score 3 or 4 goals every week, Bridgeman, are you? But you keep clean sheets. And I'm only asking for one more clean sheet. That was against Motherwell, against 10 men. See the game. And by the way, we did criticise the manager for that, Bridge. We felt his substitutions got it wrong. And we've hardly seen any of the two seen since Asgard and Majowski.
Yeah, you know, I think we've got some smashing players in our squad. Unfortunately, for some reason or other, the pressure goes on to these players when they go in the park. And I don't think they've ever played in front of so many fans, you know. And I think it pressures them right to the end. And the one that's really surprised me was that boy Majowski. I thought he was a standout, and he'll walk into our team. And we see what we've been seeing for the last how many years. Players come to Rangers and they're really top notch, and they can't make it. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them it's not going to happen for them. And I'm scared now that wee guy. I like that wee guy, Gassama. I like him, but I think some of the boys are right when they say he's bottling out it and so on and so forth. And it's sad. And we've got a lot of players in our squad that are very similar. Although I must say, the boy that came on at half time, I think it was, by Zami, I thought he played quite well for us. More than that. But I mean, I'm saying he did come on and play quite well, you know. So I had nothing against him, you know. The difficulty I've got with our players is and Bajrami just showed that he took a corner kick, the ball never got above 3 inches. You know what I mean? Never mind 7 feet, 8 feet.
I think you get mixed up with Scott Olsen, mate, in the second half, mate.
Oh, well, yeah, there was a shocker. That was it. It was a left-footed one. It was him, Olsen, yeah. Okay, that was terrible. But not alone. Some of our free kicks were shocking. Tav did another cracker, a grounder, you know. How are you supposed to score goals? You've got all your big guys standing there somewhere between the middle to the back post. And my goodness gracious, we can't get it there. But a tough game on the ground, tough game.
Jim?
Right. I think, well, again, the subs, I just think he's playing, he's bringing on Gazama again, playing him in the wrong position. Should only be playing on the left. He's not going to play on the left. I don't think he should be playing at all.
Maybe you've got a point. But Robert, therein lies a problem. There's the start. There's when everybody's talked about where it's went wrong and where the frustrations come from. And the criticism Danny Rose got, just keep 2 more goals out the goal. Well, 3 in total, sorry. The goal against Motherwell, 1 against Livingston, and 1 against that mob last week at one point. 4 goals, 3 goals, sorry, keep them out. We'll accept that you have a nothing each draw away at Easter Road. Well, you know what happens. And all of a sudden, everybody's in a different place. And therein lies the problem. At the wrong time, none of our teams functioned. Yeah, you're right, Robert. You make your point about the forwards. You make the point about the midfield no supplying them. You're also right. They 2 points are valid. But I'm going to trump you with the defence at the right time, mate. I've got a job today. See, even if you see you at the Motherwell game and the game last week, where are you, mate?
Exactly, mate. That is the thing. It's the fine margins, and it's possible those lapse in concentrations. Motherwell one, obviously the biggest one, where obviously Rowe get questioned with the subs. We're trying to see a game out against 10 men, and it's backfired on us, and that is a massive 2 points dropped. But as you say, mate, it is fine margins of a goal here and a goal there that you concede. But when you're saying about we've not won enough halves of football, then that's valid as well, because there's times where we've only performed well for the first half, or we've looked poor the first half, and we've come out the second half and played a lot better. Sometimes we've picked up a win, other times we've picked up a point, and that's when it's not good enough. And in our eyes as supporters, that we shouldn't be drawing to Livingston, we shouldn't be giving them a 2-goal head start. Those are the frustrations, but it is fine margins, mate, where you score a goal, you concede a goal, the whole landscape of the table looks different. But that is the frustration that we've all got, because it is just those wee small moments over a 90-minute game.
Yep. I get it, Jim. I get the frustrations. I get it's a game of football. It's never perfect, yeah. The bounce of the ball, the luck of the ricochet, whatever you want to call it. You know, but some of us has been self-inflicted, eh?
Aye, more than once this season, it's been self-inflicted. I mean, you've highlighted, it's true what you're saying. We had no say daft goals in the games, man, and you're probably sitting top, if no clear. I mean, even the Hearts game, go back to the Hearts game, the goal, the bulging Celt with Braggers either. He get bullied again with a wee guy again and gets a heater away at him.
Yes. Briggs has been mourning for a while, but I've been mourning for the last few weeks. I think he's gone, mate. I think he's relaxed with the confidence, and I don't know if the contract thing or anything after the park, that's all I'll say. Anything after the park is maybe affecting him. Or maybe right. You know, but anyway, we're racing along at that time in the evening. But you fancy the night, Robert? What tune?
Oh, good question, mate. Famous RFC.
I've got a funny feeling there might be accordions in it. What would you go for, Jim?
Yeah, the old toys and Marshall Davy.
I thought you'd have went for a Dido number.
What?
And there'll be no white flag.
Aye.
You think, Robert?
I can add that song to the picture, mate. Make it a wee video montage for him.
All right, can you do that, mate?
I'm sure I can, mate. Give me a day and I'll get it done for you.
Any chance you could have Jim dancing in it?
You're one of these again, boy.
What's your dance move, Jim? Is it changing a light bulb with a towel?
Big box, little box, yeah.
I'm holding a box of Daz.
Right, get yourself a mute, because we're going to have a tune.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Terry. I think Oaks is just had a wee technical issue. We'll be back with us in a wee moment or two.
Yes. Doing a bridge, man. I was there I'm just reminiscing on that tune there. Thinking about a guy for your part of the world, mate. It was a big part of the show back in the day. Broxy Teddy or Billy. He loved that tune. He loved it. He loved it.
It's a popular one right there by all the listeners, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right, getting back to the football match and where we are. Danny Rowles said criticism whether you think it's fair, unfounded, or a mixed bag. Listen, I think he's done a good job, right? Is his report card perfect? No, isn't he? Who's his? The players he's brought in, I think we can see the left back's a player, Jim. We can see that the boy under Derry has got potential. Where he kicks on, it's open for debate, and only time will tell, right? Yeah, we've bought him, took a gamble on him, brought him in. You can see that he works hard and he's got a real team ethos. He needs to start scoring more goals as a forward. Tucci looks as if he can get better. He's got a physical presence. I thought he'd done okay, particularly in the second half. I think he helped us control the game. He's got a bit of pace. He needs to last more minutes and get involved more and maybe influence the final third more. That's his role. But 3 out of the 4 have been okay. I think one of them looks a right good player. That's the left back. The right winger we've already touched upon, Jim. Hasn't been great. So he's brought them in. He's trying to shuffle the pack with mostly the previous managers' signings who have come in the summer. With the leadership group, a Tav, Suter, maybe Raskin and Butland, and they haven't delivered. Or the piece, they haven't delivered. They 4 senior pros. So Russell Martin's signings, some of them have came and done all right. You know, we've seen that the Jiga has kicked on. We've seen Magoma before Romans came in was okay. We've seen Fernandez be all right. But the middle to front, Chermiti gave us fantastic moments, but hasn't been prolific. The wingers, hot and cold. Mikey Muir's got potential. We know that. Yeah, we all know that. But whether we'll see him fulfill it is up for debate. So Danny Rowles had a lot of cards to shuffle. He can only be judged on the players that he's directly brought to the club. 100%. The rest of them has got to shuffle. Has he got it right all the time? No, he's not. Is his record okay? Yeah, it's okay. Should be better than the last few weeks, I accept that. Bits and pieces wrong. Maybe ranked team at Livingston. Substitutes away at Motherwell. You know, last week we should have seen the game out. Yeah, all hindsight. But I think he's doing a bad job. Some people never wanted him there in the first place, so you'll never please him. I think he's slowly earning the right to time. Yes, he'll be judged on how many football matches he's won and trophies, and if you don't deliver, ultimately a lot of football managers will lose their job. But we're miles away from that, in my opinion. If anybody thinks different, it's welcome to phone in. Robert, then Jim, and then the bridge.
He's done okay, Ox. I think he's gave us, obviously right when he came in, he gave us a real good bit of belief again. He installed it very quickly, and the support, and then the players obviously got going as well under him. You could start to see a real shift in kind of the atmosphere amongst the players on the pitch as well as the fans. I don't think the criticism he's getting, that people saying he he could go or should be going if we finish in certain league positions, mate. I don't think that's called for, in my opinion. I think we're at a stage in this season where many of us out there did not think we'd even be when he came into the job. I've always said his first expectation for this season was to win football games, which he did. He got us in a position where we had moments to capitalise. We haven't. But what the work he has done, mate, showed me that he's got the ability, he's got the confidence, he's got the eye for some signings to be good in the future. If he doesn't get us over the line this season, mate, then it just shows that he needs that wee bit of quality in the team to help him get that, because I think he can bring it to us.
I'll go to Jim and then we've been joined by a caller. Jim, quickly.
Aye, he's doing all right, but I think he needs to improve on the away for him. I think it needs to improve drastically. I think he's
That's
made
fair.
decisions here, maybe the last 4 or 5 weeks, that have been questionable.
I think that's fair, mate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that criticism, mate. I think you've got to be, you can't be blinkered. And I think I'm saying he's doing a good job, but I think that comment's fair, mate. Yeah. You know, because everybody's got to try and improve. Anyway, we've been joined by John. You know, I'm sure Bridget will have something to say. Evening, John.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Jim. Evening, Robert. Evening, Bridgeman. I just thought I'd give you a wee phone, get in the chat. So, first off, I'd just like to start. I know you haven't spoke too much in the past couple of nights about what we're going after the game, but I'd like to start by saying a big thank you to the Union Bears for doing what the police and the stewards couldn't, and getting those Celtic hooligans and troublemakers after the park. See if I was a Rangers fan and just turned and went away home at the end of the penalty shootout, it's my belief that they would have been away with our goalposts and our penalty spot and everything. You woke up to some wee Ned with a picture of our penalty spot in his backyard and all the rest of it. And you know, Wembley 77, you can remember that. It's a wee bit harder when you think that might be Ibrox and somebody swinging for your goalposts. I know there wee Arojo who's swinging for the goalpost. That might be a wee homage to Stuart Kennedy. I don't know if you remember him swinging for the goalpost, but I don't think Arojo would know who he was. He's not been about that long.
Listen, obviously, some of these chaps might remember him, but that's way before my time. 1975 Wembley, I can't remember that.
77 actually.
77, we won 2-1, mate.
Yeah, Wembley, aye.
Aye,
and
mate. Yeah,
all the Scotland fans went on and they were swinging for the goalposts.
Aye, 75.
But I think those Celtic boys, they would have taken our goalposts, without a doubt.
You might be right, mate, and we get it. The antagonism, the way they try to antagonise us. I go back to the game at Hampden when we had to put up with the Hibs fans and nothing really happened. And Scottish football's caused this. With no dealing with them back then. And caused it with the other things that's happened with them come on the park and no dealt with it, mate. And then it came me ahead on Sunday, mate. Yeah, we get it, mate.
Yep.
We get it. So what about the team, John? What's your thoughts?
Well, another wee point I was going to make about the penalties. I mean, we've seen Taff taking umpteen penalties. He very rarely goes high down the middle. I've no idea what his thoughts were in that. I mean, see the one with the six in the corner, he could probably do that blindfold. So that's a big disappointment on that choice of penalty. The other thing I noticed about the penalties was, see, before they started, that referee had a word with Jack Butland. Now, Jack Butland's been great at penalties this season, but he was always standing back behind the line and moving forward. I don't know if that referee said that you're not allowed to do that. I don't know if anybody's picked up on that or whether there's any truth in that.
My lip reading isn't that good, but I'll pass it to Robert.
No.
His lip reading's better than mine. Robert?
No, I couldn't tell you what he was saying, John. Good to hear from you, mate. I couldn't tell you what he was saying. I know, obviously, the goalkeepers have got to kind of stand on or behind the line, and then when the ball's played, they've got to have 1 foot remaining on the line. So whether it's just kind of reinforcing the rules as such, as the officials are meant to do, or should be doing, that's the only thing I could tell that I assume he was telling them, mate. But listen, Buckland has got a good penalty record. As you say, I think he's saved 8 in his last 9, but you've got to say their penalties were nowhere near him. He was now getting a chance to save one of them, mate. 2 of ours should have been saved as well, mate, to be honest with you. The penalties weren't great from our side, even after Tavernier's penalty. But you're right in what you're saying. Very unusual from Tav to go high down the middle. It is usually the corners.
Yep. But I just think it's strange for Buckland to, when he's been so successful standing back and moving forward, to face four penalties, and he was on the line for the whole 4 of them. He never stood back once. I found that weird.
He never get close, mate. But what we done with Tab missing, mate, it took all the pressure off. Pressure does weird things to people. Jim?
Aye, unfortunately, it's not something you could criticise him about, as his penalty kicks are the ones that he's gave us a joy of early years. I'm for one no going to have a go at him. But I'm like you, Ox. I don't think any professional football player should miss hitting that target, by the way, for 12 yards.
No, if the goalie saves it, that's different, Jim. I get that. I understand that fully, yeah. You know, I think that should be your minimum. You should hit the target. Goalie saves it, that's a different debate. Yeah, Jim?
Aye, 100%.
You know, because if you don't hit the target with a penalty kick, you'll never score. You'll never score. John, look, penalties is penalties, but is the frustration know that we should have won the game? We never done, but with all that possession, we never made enough chances.
No, I thought we made plenty of chances. See, watching the game back, maybe during the game, you weren't thinking they were clear-cut chances, but see, when I watched the game back, there was about at least 4 or 5 that were goal-bound that they managed to get a block in. Whether you count that as a good chance or no, but Raskins had a header off the line. Big Fernandes was a 2, one that Jaga stopped. It's probably the best defensive move Jaga made was stopping Fernandes' header for getting in. Because he had nothing to do down our end. We kept him really quiet. For another game at Ibrox, they've hardly laid a glove on us, really, during the actual game. So that's a bit disappointing. Sharmiti had 2 or 3. A couple of them were cleared off the line.
The one in extra time, he screws past the post. I think he's trying to put it by the 2 players, but again, you don't hit the target, you'll never score. Aye, yeah. He had moments, but he didn't. We didn't make the. I'll change it then. We didn't make the goalie make enough saves, yeah?
No, that's because they were getting people into block.
Uh-huh.
I mean, say what you want about Austin Trusty, he had a great game. There's no denying it. He did a great game for us.
He was their best player.
I'll give him that, grudgingly.
He was their best player, mate. You know, but arguably so were our centre-halves, but different, Bridge, because yours was stopping attacks and moving forward, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought we played really, really well from the back out, you know. The odd mistake by some players, which happens anyway, any team. But I thought in general we were really good. We were hitting good long balls. We brought the wide men in. We used up all our, shall we say, our resources in midfield positively. I thought we had a really, really good game against them. As the score tells you, it's, you know, 0-0, you know. And all of a sudden, what happens is we completely collapse, taking penalty kicks. And I believe that what the Oxtair said there about Tav missing that one just blew it for us. That just blew it. That's, to me, that epitomised his games. No, it's just his game there, but a few games recently where he's been quite weak, and I'm afraid it's affected him there. I'm sorry to say. No, I know he's been a better player for 11, 12 years, or 10 or 11 years. But my goodness gracious, when you need him, he was there.
No, his record in the Scottish Cup at Ibrox, I think St Johnstone and all, isn't it? St Johnstone, did he miss a penalty or did he score a penalty and then they lost a goal? I can't remember what happened that night. But aye, it was a sore one, John. It was a sore one.
No, I think we scored. We scored and then the ball came down and Tab made a pass back or something like that. Or him and the goalkeeper never got talking, or the centre half or whatever, and the guy just ran and put the ball in the net. It's shocking. Immediately, but you were right at the time. Sorry.
And then I think, was it the goalie equalised? Was there a goal equalised St Johnston that night? Yeah.
Yep, Xander Clark.
Queen's Park also.
Aye, same goal, mate. Same goal, yeah. Goalie saved it, yeah. You know, but John, it was a sore one, wasn't it? It was a sore one in the circumstances, wasn't it?
Especially considering we dominated them. Just never, just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. You know, you're trying to blow it in yourself at times and hoping there's a wee break comes or something. There was a few stramashes where the boys bouncing about the box, ping pong style, and it just isn't 41 of our players. There was one where the boys crossed into Romans, and it just heads it back, and there's nobody there. There's too big a gap between our front three, and there's nobody following up, or they've followed up too soon, or whatever. It was just a calamity of errors at times going forward.
What do you think of him, Romans? I like him.
Oh, I like Romans. Aye, he's got a good engine in him. I thought he played better in the first game. He was a wee bit more involved. Him and Mikey Moore had a better partnership going in the league game as opposed to the cup game. But aye, he's looking like a great player for us.
Aye, I like him. The other signings,
Nadiri. Well, I mean,
Nadiri.
we went all in to sign Nadiri, and he's put a bit of effort in, and he's had one goal and made a bit of uses of himself at times. But I kind of thought at the time, that's a lot of money. We could have maybe went and get that Barney Stewart for Falkirk. He's one I'm keeping an eye on as a young development player. I still think we should maybe look at him in the summer. I don't know what you think about that boy, Stewart.
Well, why not, mate? Why not? Why
Aye.
not take a gamble?
He wouldn't cost you off.
You know, I said it on here. I understand fully why we signed Scott Wright. Didn't work out. You've got to take these gambles. You don't have to always have to bring in oven-ready players. You might have to say, right, we can develop, and if it doesn't work out, well, you have to move on. But it might work out for you, Jim, then Robert. Robert.
Aye, there's certainly players out there, Rox, that you've even look at the past and the present, you say you take a gamble on. Sometimes I know a lot of people say that we should always look for better players in from the SPL or out with the SPFL, but Fox has said it for a while, mate, and you know what I'm going to say here, that there's a levelling out in Scottish football that when we go and sign a player from abroad that's 3 million or 2 million, they're not any better than what maybe Hearts are getting for $500,000. The quality is the same, if not sometimes better. I think Hearts have shown that this season in particular with their signings. They've not splashed the cash. There will be players out there that you can take a gamble on, and whether they can do it at the club they're at now and then do the step up to Rangers, it's a big level, it's a big weight or pressure on your shoulders. Can you deal with it? Then you only find out when they come to the club. Players have. Ryan Jack, Kamara, they dealt with it. They were quite instrumental at times in previous seasons. Scott Wright didn't really work out for him, but listen, he played in the Europa League final. So what players get up?
Don't remind me.
I know, mate, I know. But what players can say that have done that, getting the platform at your club? That's something we offer. And sometimes we're just too quick to shut out players within the SPFL because it's Scottish football. But sometimes there is good players right in your doorstep that we don't take advantage of.
Jim?
I think it's a hard one. I like saying looking at the Hearts and saying it, oh, the broke boys down there, look how they're shining. You kind of touched on it yourself there. I think it's a lot of pressure coming into a club like Rangers. Aye, we could be maybe went for a couple of gambles and maybe kind of home talent, but would they have improved us? I don't know. I know we kind of spoke there about your kind of main group leaders in the thingy, but could possibly they four be moved on in close season? I think there's a big chance that the four of them probably could.
Well, Suter's no gone, is he? We'll just give him a new contract. Tav's
No, I'm talking about the other one.
Butler's got another year to go, and Raskin's got 2. I would say economically, it makes perfect time to tell Raskin in the summer. You're peaking your bargaining power. No, it's up for debate football wise. John, the boys fair.
Well, I'm we're asking. Sometimes you want him in the team, sometimes you want him out it. He's both hot and cold. I'm hoping he's a good World Cup and we can maybe cash in on him and just get rid of him. He does things well and he does other. His passing's just not there. And I think my worry was he would go into hiding towards the end of the season, keeping himself for the World Cup. I think he's quite a selfish player that way. He's maybe only got his own interests at heart, which is fair enough. He's wanting to go to the World Cup, but that's no help Rangers. And we need players that are going to go full tilt for these last 9 games. I hope he's more than willing to do that if he's selected. But I'd be quite happy for Chuck Lanny to be in, and if Barn comes back, give Barn a run and give Raskin a drop out. If that makes sense.
His fitness. What do you make of Danny Rowe then, John? Your opinion?
Oh, aye. I'm still in the Danny Rowe camp. I think he's been hampered by a wee bit, and obviously he's learning to have to deal with VAR and all the Scottish referees against you. That's something that Rangers new managers in. They've got to learn that fast. When you've got to score, you've got to score. You've got to win a game twice. To beat the VAR, they're going to question everything. But I still think I never thought we could maybe win the league this season. It was too much a rebuild. But he's got us into a situation where we're still challenging. Everything's still to play for. The signings he's made are looking good. I'd say 2 of them definitely. Scott Wilson's only on loan. He needs to polish trousers up. Quick smartish if he wants to be a Rangers player next season. And Nadiri, you're hoping he starts buying in some goals, will get some confidence and ups his level. But I think he'll definitely do better with a pre-season. So that's about it, really. I'm definitely knowing the camp of people, just because he drew some games, unfortunately. I thought he's picked every kind of possible way you can fin to draw a game. We've had the boring nothing each. We've had holding on against Motherwell, no mind, and we've had piling the pressure on against Dundee. We've had a game of 2 halves. Every possible way you can draw a game, he's managed to find it, which is a wee bit unlucky. But we'll come good. I've got every faith in him.
Good on you, mate. Bridgeman?
Yeah, you were talking about other players. There's only one player in Scotland that I would buy, I have to tell you now, and that's a boy from Motherwell, a boy called Watt, Elliot Watt, I think his name is. I think he's a fantastic player.
Comes from good stock, Rich. Good stock.
Yeah, indeed. A really good player. Good to look at play-wise. Now, we might buy him when he blows up. I don't know. But I wouldn't be paying £10 million for him, and that's for sure. The difficulty for Rangers is as soon as Rangers goes in there and asks about a player that's got trebled and quadrupled the price, we could get a right good killing off Rangers here and make them desperate to get away, So upset the player to leave and put the pressure on Rangers to meet the bill. I don't know how we can go over it, but a reasonable price, then I'm in there. I'll definitely do it because that guy looks absolute quality. Absolute quality.
I would like to see
questions. Sorry, Jim.
I would like to see Rangers move for the other wee boy. Is it just or something the wee boy that plays in the midfield with the Soakstone? I'd like to see his kind of gone for that wee guy for maybe the middle of the park to replace either Rascon or maybe Diamondi. I think you would get the wee boy would play more in advance, would he?
One of my problems is, Jim, I don't watch the other teams closer enough. Fox is always having gone at me, but I'm a relatively busy man. So I don't watch the amount of football apart from your team that I maybe should. And I don't study the other teams to see how the players are playing. It's a failing on my part. I accept that. I watch them closely when they play against us. Yeah. I try and watch the game intently, but I don't really pick up other players, in particularly in our league, the way I should. And maybe if somebody points something out at this point, I'll maybe go and have a look and see if I can catch something in the highlights, but I don't watch them closely enough to judge. But listen, we'll see what I can't on, mate.
I was just going to say to you that there's one other man that came into my mind. The last time we played Livingston, the guy that scored their first goal, and he had a big long name, but I don't know what it was, and he's a giant.
A centre back.
That's it, yeah. I would look at him. I would be looking at him as well. I forgot all about him just to there and now. What a big buildy a guy. Huh?
It's a no for me.
Okay, that's fine. Well, yeah. I just think we should look at him because he scored a goal against us and he played quite well against us. Put it that way.
All right, so we're signing the Tatty next week, aren't we?
Who?
Tatty, he scored a goal against us.
No, I'm not scoring anything. I'm just saying how the guy was good, scored a good goal against us. Aye, and he had a smashing game at centre half. I've got no problem with him. He's the type of guy I would want. I'd rather have him than Suter, the way Suter's playing at the moment. But there you go. I mean, people will say, no, it's different.
I'd rather have you.
I'd rather have me as well, I must admit. But no, it's the first time I've ever seen him, so I don't know.
Ailey Just is a right winger that some people have pointed through, Jim. He plays in the right wing most of the time for Motherwell. Duncan Fritton on Facebook, would anybody play Magoma wide left in front of Romans and Moore on the right? Well, I think the problem position once again, bizarrely, and Robert can come in and we'll bring John in. This right hand side of the forward area, we've not been able to fill it for a long, long time consistently. Robert?
No, we've not, mate. We've not. You go back to probably the last person that nailed it down really was Daniel Candias. I know we had Cherney there previous season, but he was only on loan. It took a bit of time to get into showing us what he could actually bring to the club, and a lot of goals, a lot of assists came from him towards the end of his tenure with us. But it is a problem, Ox, that it seems to be a reoccurring one that we're yet to really identify a stick-on guy who can do the job out on that right side, whether it be through goals, assists, or just general play. Duncan's question, though, is a great one, and I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. If Magoma was on the left, Romans in front of Romans, with Moore on the right, I think you can see that Romans gets forward well, Magoma as well drives forward. They've both got good deliveries. Defensively, probably more assured on that left-hand side, having two natural defenders. But I think it would work, and I think Moore on the right, he causes teams problems.
Aye, well, I would have done it last week. I don't know if I'd have done it this week. We ended up swapping the two of them. I'd have done it last week when there was the long goal. I thought Mikey Moore had run his race because of the effort he put in. John, any thoughts?
I have actually. Well, for near enough a decade or maybe more, we've had Tav doing the right side, and the right side's been his. And this season, we've not had as much of Tav, and for the longest time, really, we've not had the same amount of Tav. But this season, we've had Scott Wilson, and before him, we had Ant-Man. And both of them were frozen out. And we just don't play enough down the right-hand side. And I noticed that in the game at the weekend, there was times Scott Wilson was in acres of space, and they just wouldn't play the cross-field ball. Or either that, or they'd play it short to, what's his name, at the back?
Hernandez, the Jigger, Sterling?
No, the right back.
Sterling?
Sorry, I forgot his name there. Probably because his eye was injured. You forget his name sometimes. So they'd end up playing it short to Sterling, and then he'd get up to Scott Wilson when he squared off, back up with defenders. Where if it'd been a longer pass, he'd have been away. But it's like what Albert said last night. A lot of time he just cuts in and plays a safe ball just to get the percentages up. But I think the problem maybe comes with Tav doing that wing for so long. And now Tav's not there, and they just don't know what to do. and
Aye.
they just play everything down the left now, for the largest part.
It's interesting to see how it pans out going forward, you know, because it's a no for me signing him at the moment, you know. I don't think it doesn't look for me as if he's got the cojones for it, and that's important in our game. And Jim, once people smell that in Scottish football, what you going to do, mate? If you gave him a 3-year contract,
I know. Aye, well, it's another one. I don't know. I think definitely a no just now anyway. Unless he starts producing the goods, but he's not look like doing it for me anyway. Again, Scottish football's not for everybody.
no.
I mean, it's
No,
hard
it's
to make a
gonna be
decision.
interesting.
Sorry. It's hard to make a decision when you've been stung a couple of times by the likes of Cortez and Matondo. You spend a lot of money on wingers and they just disappear. So, I mean, and then you're asked to spend double for you spent the two of them on Scott Wilson on a wing and a prayer, really, unless he picks up his performances. But it's hard to judge after 3 games. I mean, look at Mikey Moore, wasn't up to much in Jaeger. But I mean, we've been needing players to come in match ready, and he's no. So, what do you do? We didn't Danny
Aye, I
Rowe
mean,
whether he
look-
fancies him or not.
Aye, I think that's. I think you're maybe right, mate. We're giving our opinion of what we've seen so far. We couldn't come on here and said he's played well, could we?
No, tidy at best. But barely
You're being
pass marks,
polite,
really.
mate.
Aye.
You're being polite, aren't you?
Well, I'm not going to cave in and our players while we've still got important games to play.
Aye.
You don't want to do that.
But I mean, his performance on Sunday was appalling, mate.
Yep. Expecting a lot more, especially since he's getting on to being a marquee signing, if you want to call him that. It's signed for these big games, and well, he's not produced so far. But we've got some tough games coming up. If he's selected, I'll be expecting him to do his best and providing maybe even score some goals. But I noticed the first couple of games he was drifting in, he was getting himself into the box. That's disappeared as well.
Maybe a confidence thing, but
Hiding out in the wing.
maybe a confidence thing. Robert?
It could well be, mate. It could well be confidence. John said something I said earlier on, that a lot of our play predominantly comes down our left-hand side. That's no excuse for your right winger not being involved in the game, because you bring yourself into the space. All the play and all the players would be over on the far left. You've got pockets. You demand the ball. You become involved. I compared them to what Mikey Moore does in the games, where he can get on the ball. He finds the pockets. It's something that you don't see Scott Wilson doing a lot. I mean, there was a crossfield ball to him at the weekend there, and he waits for the ball. He doesn't go and meet it. And I think their centre-back comes out and just commands it and takes the ball. It's moments like that where you think, be on the front foot, just go and get the ball, and you're in the final third. You're almost one-on-one with a defender. You get by him, you may have a golden opportunity to either get a goal yourself or set a teammate up. It's things like that that he's just not really done. And again, he's came with this expectation and experienced player, international. At this moment in time, you wouldn't say you were confident enough to go and splash the cash to make it a permanent deal. If it was the opposite conversation with Mikey Moore, then a lot of people would say absolutely, and that's the difference. You've got a player on loan who arguably is priced out your market that you would take in a heartbeat, and you've got a guy who is financially possible, but he's not doing enough to merit that at the minute. But Ox, we're talking about wingers here, and we're talking about, John said, are we trying to find, got to go and spend money to get players in, i.e. Cortez, Matondo? Could the answer, or one of the solutions, be somebody on our own doorstep that won't cost us a penny, and young Finlay Curtis?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how he comes back for his development, mate. Yeah, where he is and how he kicks on. I mean, this sounds really, really daft. See, with 10 minutes to go last week, I'd have been delighted if young Finlay Curtis came on anywhere up that park. You see, would have chased and harried and made it so hard for every one of them. Broke the play up and maybe helped see the zero of the line. We'd nailed it like that. nobody understood what it's about. John, yeah, a fair comment for Robert, but he's
Well,
going to kick on.
I'm hoping fun like Curtis can do something for us this weekend against Hearts.
Yeah, yeah.
So you never know.
Anyway, we'll be joined with
It could be a blessing in disguise sending him out there if he scores a winner against Hearts and gets us right back into it. I'll be delighted.
Agent Curtis. We'll be joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Ox, Robert, Bridgman, and the rest of the guys. Just when you were on about players there. Ox, you asked the question, and I thought we might have got a chance of talking about it last night. Obviously, we were talking about the previous game. The shenanigans that went on afterwards. And I heard that the female head commissioner for Police Scotland, and I listened to her very intently. And she more or less just said that they didn't have the resources. Now, for all the games, Ox, we've been at in the past, which is thousands. I can never remember an Old Firm game where we didn't have at least a cordon, a police in front of either end. And I couldn't believe, and I said that right at the start of the game on the feed, as I say, I watched it in the house, obviously. And I couldn't believe all I seen was stewards. But then the things started coming through, the shenanigans, the rain breaking in the door and coming in the Broomlin. You could clearly see every one of them was sitting in the concourse steps because obviously there was no seats for them. The limited number of police that were there, and it was very limited, everybody in the stadium seen them. Why were they not huckled and taken out? That was number one. Number two, going on to our head coach and the players, the wee guy I'd begin out and signing, without a shadow of a doubt, would be Braga. I think he's the most outstanding player in our league this season by a country mile. He's got some engine on him, runs for 90 minutes, comes back and defends, takes the ball in midfield. He can beat a player with the ball, which I love to see. We've not got him apart from, well, I dare I say it, Robert just mentioned him, Curtis and Wee Moore. Nobody else in our team's beat a player all season. Gassama done it the first two games against Panathinaikos and Pilsen, and since then he's been a piece of rubber, quite frankly. I couldn't believe Bridge earlier on saying he thinks he's a great player. He's absolutely stinking. He's fair, that's what's wrong. And I think a lot of that's the day we all say. Our game's far, far harder, as we know, than what even the English give credit for. And you know that for a fact because everyone that signed for us, they all tell you straight, they couldn't believe, they thought they were going to walk it up here. And the minute they look at the borders. What's that?
That's Joe Ross.
Aye, absolutely. Absolutely, Ox. So-called powerhouse in midfield. He couldn't hack it, 100%. But, Ox, as you fairly well know, you get your contacts the same as I have. Our head coach, our manager, is under tremendous pressure and has been today and yesterday with talks going on. And I know you know. We all know. I spoke to Mr. Kavanagh, and believe you me, they are ruthless. Nice guy and everything else, but money talks. They're not spending that kind of cash to see the performances we're getting. And where I would find fault with them, and I can only be honest, that everything depends on results. I'm baffled as to how he could come in and get them on an 8-game winning run, and the minute we were within striking distance to go in front, they've failed spectacularly. 3 wins in 9 games. And those games were putting us, in fact, would have been well out in front of the Hearts. That's where I'm baffled. So once again, whether a lot of them weren't his players or no, you've got to balance it and say, well, he was good enough and he was doing something right when they went in an 8-game run to get us back into it. And the minute we get back into it, they failed spectacularly. And the pressure is on him big time. Because the way I look at it, and it's nothing against the guy, he comes across as being a nice fella and everything else, but you're looking at it, and if I turn around to you, Ox, and I say to you, right, Ox, what do you think you need in January to take us forward now that we're in the hunt here? And you gave me 4 players, and I go out and bust a gut to get them at 14 million quid, that nobody else in our league even spent that in the summer. That's fact. And you're looking at it and you're going, well, all right, you could say Rumens looks a player. The other three for me, even Chukwueze, not a chance. He was meant to be coming in to drum that into that midfield and get us driving with power. It's simply not happened. So much so that our manager hasn't even been starting them. So there are big questions there. And as we all know, the real sore one here is we're playing against a Celtic side that's the worst I've seen in 20 years. Absolutely hands down. We played 2 games. They gave us 2 goals at a start in the first game, and then we faltered. And then we came out that game, granted, with millions of possession, as we all spoke about, but the lack of chances and edge chances simply because the midfield is drastically bad. And again, my sore point, Ox, simply because I played there. The wingers, no worth a jot, and we've spent millions. That's not all on him, but the 14 million certainly on him, and I just don't see it. I hope I'm wrong, and I'm fed up saying over the last 15 years, we all hope, and we all hope. That's not what we are as Rangers fans. Our club's built in winning, and it's simply not happening. And it's no frustration anymore. A lot of it's anger. And the fans have every right to be angry because we're watching players going into their big fancy motors, back to their big fancy houses, with big fancy fat bank accounts, and we're lucky to get one half out of them. It's not acceptable. But where I would say a lot of it's not in him, and I wanted to say this last night, Ox, see a lot of it for me with the so-called 45 minutes. Honestly, truthfully, and you know because you played the game, see the pre-season we had, it was non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. And I maintain, even the so-called players that were already at our club, they're nowhere near fit enough this season. We've seen it. They can't hack it for 90 minutes. And I've never seen that before. Yes, you can have your players playing bad and have bad games, but you've still got to be able to run. You've still got to be able to run and shift about for 90 minutes. We've seen none of that. None of it. And that's down to pre-season, because our pre-season was an absolute hash job. Players were coming in at the last minute. They weren't getting trained properly. That's fact. Because umpteen of them have all come in. In fact, Taff came out the other day and tell you, he went away that week's holiday when he met him for Hearts, Shankland, and they were doing their own training. And Taff says, I had to step it up. He says, our pre-season's been rubbish. That's fact, Hawks. So a lot of that comes into it. But for the money that's been spent, I'm telling you, the Yanks don't operate this way. They are ruthless. And if they don't see results, especially when they know the league's that bad this year, and that other side are now in front of us, I'm telling you, they will not accept it. So we can only hope that these next 9 games that they are going to show up.
My understanding is there has been meetings in the club, but it's been nothing to do with football, mate, the last 2 days.
Absolutely. And rightly so, because we're still waiting in a statement as to what the club's going to come out and say. But, and I will say it, and it's no through blue-tinted glasses. It's no through any fault of our own. Definitely not. When the Police Scotland went to the SFA and told them straight they wouldn't have enough backup there, they were told that, the SFA. That woman told us all straight on the news. They already told the SFA the resources were really thin on the ground. The lack of policing, the stewards, them kicking in doors, the graffiti, the damage that they done to the...
Do you think it's right that stewards on minimum wage or maybe get contracts for a day, because that's how it works in that game?
Ox, I understand that. What I'm saying is, well, see, the thing that's alarming, see when she turns around and she tells you they've made 9 arrests, come on, that's just laughable. The amount of the guys that were piling in through that door alone, they're all on camera, none of them were wearing masks. And you're telling me there's 9 arrests for the trouble that was caused inside and incidentally outside the ground, before and after.
My understanding is when the first guy went through, he looked up at the camera and it broke me.
Aye. No, there are questions now being asked, Ox, and rightly so. But as I say, it's all down to the results. They've got 9 games, and I'm afraid to say it, they're going to have to show up. because I'm telling you right now.
The problem I've got, Blue Star, is when you dissect the team into three bits, forget about the goalkeeper. I'll let Jim and the boys come in on that quickly. But if you take the game, we know the midfield's not creative. We know that. It's obvious to everybody. Everybody, right? They're good at some things, but they're not creative. So we don't get enough chances to the forwards. The wingers, you're right, will say, will be polite. They blow hot, cold, cold. They don't even blow hot and cold, right? They blow hot, cold, cold, right? And then the defence, and the crucial part is Robert. Robert can come in next, as we pointed out. Just take the games. Livingston away, 2 goals lost.
Yeah.
2-goal lead last week, and the last minute goal against Marvel. You don't lose 3 of 8 goals, mate. Your season's so different just now. Whether you're going to win anything, it's up for debate.
But it swings and roundabouts, Ox. Even the 8-game winning run we went on, 6 of 8 games was virtually last-minute goals, more or less. We scraped by all the 8 games. Yes, it's all about winning, absolutely is. You can dissect any game, but we never steamrolled any team. We haven't done it all season. The best performance we've had was last week, and we still drew it. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say my other best performance was away at Tannadice, maybe Pittodrie. But away at Tannadice, we made some amount of chances, and we never won the game. You're right, you're right.
And then you even take that into account, Ox, and as you know, these teams are, no offence, but they're absolutely rank rotten. And we're struggling to beat them. That's where it tells. They are rank rotten. And we're struggling. As I say, the worst one of the lot was Livingston. The bottom team of the league couldn't buy a goal all season. And they were 2 up against us. And we only get back in it because they got a player sent off with 10 minutes to go. It's shocking. And yet they go in an 8-game winning run. Granted, they were scraping the results with the odd goal. But then when they were getting themselves to put in front, they done the same as they done under Clement. Failed spectacularly. 3 wins in 9 games. I mean, that's just horrific. It really is.
Blue Star, what do you think of the referee's performance at the weekend?
You let them away with far too much. The wee guy, as everybody said, that wee blonde hair, I didn't want to mention his name. That's just a wee thug. As I said last night, Bridgeman, Diamondi, I felt quite sorry for. I thought Diamondi booked right away for the first bad tackle he made, and it was a bad one. I'm not going to hold back. But there was worse ones than that even before his. So he was walking a tightrope. But the 5 tackles in the first half on him, they weren't tackles. They were assaults. 5 badgings on him, and not one of them went punished. So, you know what we think of the referees, Bridge. There's not a good one amongst them all.
100%.
Robert, and you coming in? Billy's joined us in the last knockings. Robert.
Hi, evening, Blue Star. Listen, you've made a lot of good points there, mate. I personally don't think Danny Rose under pressure. I know you might disagree with that. I don't think he's under pressure. I think this season has been a season for him to come in and do the job that he can do. Whether that is to get us up the table, win us a cup, win us a league, remains to be seen. I think the first thing that I said he was to do was to come in and win games. He's done that. He's got his back in a position. Of course, there's been moments where we've failed to capitalise. Big moments at that as well, Blue Star. Let's not get away from that. But I think you've hit the nail there as well by saying the pre-season. It's not Danny Rose pre-season. Whether we look a lot fitter next season with his pre-season, his sort of plans and his signings. I know obviously you've said there the signings have come in. I think Tochi looks a good player. Romans is a good player. Scott Volson, we've already said at this point in time we wouldn't spend the money. In Nadiri, it's a 3rd division German player. He'll take time. You don't get time at Rangers, I understand that. But a lot of expectation was in him right away to come in and be a guy who would find the net when Chimiti wasn't. And obviously, like you're saying there, away performances, particularly Dundee United, we drew the game, but we made umpteen chances to win 3 games of football. And that's where the lack of quality up front shows up. But also the games away, Livingston, Motherwell, with a defensive lapse of concentration. But these small moments do change the landscape of a table.
Absolutely.
Billy's
Absolutely.
All
But
right,
it's
I'll
when
come
you
back
get
to you,
4
Blue Star.
players in
I'll come
to
back
push
to you,
you on
Blue
and
Star.
it's no harmed.
I'll come back to
Sorry.
you, Blue Star. I'll come back to you. Billy's joined us. Billy, all right?
Sounds as a pound, mate. I'm just off stag duty there for Rangers Radio. Just a wee quick question for all the troops. I know we spoke about Olsen, lads, but we've got 2 centre-backs here in loan, Cornelius and Diaja, right? And I was just wondering if you were only allowed 1 pick of who you would sign in the summer, who would it be?
Out the 3 and out the 2.
Out of the 2, mate. Forget Olsen, we
two
spoke about
centre-backs,
Olsen,
yeah.
mate. Aye, 2 centre-backs,
Aye.
brother, aye.
Well, on for him, mate, it'd be Jiga. Would you gamble on somebody's had a bad injury and he's been out for maybe 6 months now? It's a gamble. And the Jiga, he's young. He didn't look great at the start of the season, but he's certainly improved. And that pace is an asset, and he seems to be getting better. I'll go with my centre half expert, and then the referee can chip in. Bridgman.
Well, I like the boy Giga. I think he's a good partnership with Fernandez, who's he's playing absolutely brilliantly. I think we're not knitting. We've got a gap between the centre halves and the forwards that isn't getting filled with decent players. We've got 1 decent player 1 week and another decent player next week. We need decent players every week in the midfield to pick the ball up and make space from because our centre halves got a lot of the ball on our half, right in the centre circle, and they try to distribute the ball, and they're not the greatest. So let's put it that way. So we miss a lot of chances to distribute the ball properly, and we're looking for decent midfielders. And when you give them the ball, they can pull it in and they can move it themselves. But look, so I would suggest we get Oxchair in, and he can show the guys how to play as a good halfback. It might make a big difference.
A couple of sessions, mate. A couple of sessions.
There you
That's
go.
all it
See,
take.
that's it.
You know, but did Jiga quickly? Did Jiga, Jim?
Did you get the new? But I don't think I've got any chance of signing them with the wages the guys on.
I get that, mate. Massive, innit? Massive.
No.
But they could have a fire sale.
I don't think we could make a decision on Big Cornelius because I don't think we've seen enough of him. But
would you sign him with the injury, mate? Would you sign him with injury?
I don't think so, Renew. He's another one who probably don't think so.
Because if let's say he gets an injury, it's nothing to do with what he's got to do in September. Everybody will say, "Oh, Blue Star, oh, we've done it again." Eh?
Absolutely. We're notorious anyway. To be fair to Cornelius, I thought when he started that Fox, I was actually very impressed with him, to be fair. As I say, he got that injury. Oh no, you would need to say Giga, no doubt about it.
All right. Listen, we're getting near that time of the evening. We'll just go around the panel and Billy's come in and joined us the last knockings in. Else to add, Billy boy?
Oh, that's fine, mate. I was just quite intrigued to see what your thoughts were. That was all, brothers.
What about you? Who was you? Out them all, out the 3 of them you mentioned. Did you take any of them?
I wouldn't take Olsen in the performance he's shown now. I wouldn't pay 8 million for him. I don't know what the Daija's rated at. I don't know if it's 5 or 6 million. I'm certainly think he's worth the dough.
Keep going, mate. Keep going.
Well, we'll see, Ox. We'll see. We'll see. Listen, he's only going to, if he shines at Rangers, the price is only going to go up. And, you know, if they don't play well, the price would go down. That's just the way part and parcel of football. Regarding Cornelius, I think there's a player in Cornelius.
His salary's got a 4 in it, Billy.
Is it? Oh, well. Bridge will put the last couple of zeros to it and screw it up. There'll be no problem there.
Yeah, devil, you. You're a shocker.
But Cornelius is they're definitely a football player in Cornelius, but I don't know if he's just been lucky or with that injury, that whatever kind of injury he's had, or he's had these injuries before. I don't know. I've not looked in depth into his medical history, guys. But that took me out of the equation. Cornelius is definitely a tidy player if we can keep him fit.
All right, last word, John.
I definitely need to see a wee bit more of Cornelius, but I don't know if we'll get the chance before the end of the season because the games are too important, maybe to risk him. But he did look like a player. Again, you have to see what's going to happen with Wolves, whether they might let Jager go, and then we might have a chance of buying him. Definitely, if we get the chance of buying him, I'd jump at it. But for my last words, we're looking forward to the game against St Mirren. Hope we pick up 3 points and get this back in the rolling again. Danny Rowland. I'm still behind Danny Rowe just now. I don't want to see another tear up in the summer. I want to see our manager getting a good pre-season with his players and signing some new players, and we take it from there. Thanks for having me on, and good night.
Cheers, John. Good to hear from you. Blue Star.
It's on to Sunday. It's got to be 3 points, and we've just got to take it for there and hope these players will show up. No mere 45 minutes. It's got to be 90 minutes, and we've got to get goals now. It's 1-1-1, simple as. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Jim.
Great show tonight again. Good getting the calls coming in. Kind of breaks it up a bit. Saturday's massive. Just need to get that white flag halfway up that flagpole the weekend now.
You'll deal with it in Saturday game Sunday, mate.
Sunday. You're going to come up against big physical guys again, man, blah, blah, blah. But we need to start putting that ball in that net. End of the day, that's what it needs to start. Put the ball in the net.
Hi, listen, put the ball in the net and keep it out the net at the right time. At the right time. I'll say it again. Last minute last week, last minute Motherwell, and the 2 goals. They're the big moments of the season so far. Yeah, the defence has got a job today as well, supported by the forwards and vice versa. Anyway, good to hear from you, Jim. Or Robert.
Aye, good show tonight, mate. Good to be on with yourself, Jim, and the Bridgeman. Good discussions for the callers as well, mate. Jim's right, it's all about Sunday now. The league is all we can play for. Right a few wrongs and get back in the winning run, as you say. Score at one end, keep it at the other end. Defence starts from attack, mate.
Aye, maybe take the pressure off. Bridgeman.
Well, what can I say? Fantastic night, Oxtail. Absolutely brilliant. Great discussions. Brilliant people coming in and phoning in. Superb. I give a big shout out to the techie boys in the background. I just for yourself as well, Oxtail and Robert, looking after me. It's just brilliant. I just love it. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, massive game, biggest game of the season coming up on Sunday, not Saturday, but Sunday, and we've got to do it. There's just no two ways about it. If we get any chance at all to get us back on line for the league, it's got to happen on Sunday for us, and we've got to do it. A wee 1-0 for me, Bridgman for me. Keep it going for the Rangers, everybody. Keep it going.
Yes, we're going to win, Bridge. Simple as that. We can talk all we want, but we'll go to win. Listen, thanks to John. Thanks to Blue Star and Billy for taking the time to join us. Thanks to Jim and Robert for doing the show, supported by Bridgeman. Old School Blue for doing the technical, supported by Fox. It was busy this evening, but always supported by Fox. Thanks for listening. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. I'm sure some of the media can be really, really pleased in their editing, in their pieces. If you just want to look at some of the things it's bringing, and some of the papers have done it again. Take it away, Old School Blue.